opportunity to attend today's announcement and to show Interact's continued strong support for the OACP's action in the fight against cybercrime. Canadians enjoy the benefits of one of the safest and most efficient payment systems in the world, but fraud is a reality. While victims of fraud are protected by Interact's zero liability policy and are reimbursed for their losses, this is not a victimless crime. Although most people are familiar with Interact's card-based products, Interact Debit and Interact Cash, we also have products in the online space. Therefore, we are keenly aware of the importance of protecting personal financial information in the online world, and our products reflect this. As an alternative to traditional card-based payments on the internet, Interact Online leverages the security of financial institutions' web banking credentials. No personal information, including card and account numbers, is provided to online merchants. Furthermore, stolen cards and even PINs cannot be used to complete internet transactions. And Interact e-Transfer allows Canadians to send and receive money in near real time across the country from one bank account to another. All this is done quickly and securely through web banking. As we know, battling criminals who commit fraud, whether in the physical or online space, requires a day-to-day effort with a multi-layer strategy involving many partners, particularly our strong partners in law enforcement. Collaborative efforts will continue to be a core to our collective success. As such, we are very pleased to be involved in the OACP's crime prevention campaign. Together, we make it harder for criminals to operate here. Thank you, and I'd now like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Deputy Chief Andrew Fletcher from Halton Regional Police Service.
Thanks very much, Mark. I'm proud to be here this morning to represent the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police Crime Prevention Committee, of which I'm the chair, and I'm especially pleased to be accompanied by our president, Chief Matt Tregian. I'm also delighted to be joined by our many corporate, government, and community partners who have helped make this crime prevention campaign possible. I'd also like to acknowledge and welcome Detective Brad Murray of the Halton Regional Police Service and Staff Inspector Bryce Evans of the Toronto Police Service, who have joined us here today in the audience. These two gentlemen are just two of the police personnel in Ontario who work tirelessly in the area of fraud and cyber crimes, and we are honored to have them join us. The focus of our campaign this year is electronically based crimes, or what many call cyber crimes. Technology has become a way of life for many, and with it comes the risk of becoming a victim of cybercrime. But there is much that can be done to prevent these crimes, which is why we are here today. There are more than 1.7 billion people using the internet in one way or another. That opens up tremendous opportunities for people to share information and to stay connected. But it also opens up opportunities for criminals who will use this tool to achieve their criminal gains. Stealing personal information such as credit card or debit card numbers, login passwords, or unleashing malicious software designed to infiltrate and damage personal, government, and corporate systems are fairly new realities that we as law enforcement professionals must face each and every day. All of you here have probably received email from some unknown prince who needs help in retrieving their funds from an offshore account somewhere in the world, or from an alleged financial institution warning you that your banking information has been compromised and all you need to provide them with is your personal information so that they can assist you. These and other types of scams are criminal activities. The best way to protect yourself is knowing what to look for and to take steps to protect yourself and your online information. While police organizations throughout the province continue to commit tremendous resources to fighting cybercrime, we know that law enforcement is just part of the solution. Crime prevention is critical, not only to maximizing the effectiveness of these police resources, but also to empower citizens to protect themselves from being a victim in the first place. That's why the OACP's new booklet, entitled Cybercrime, Victims Without Borders, is being made available to Ontarians through their local police services, online through the OACP website, and on the websites of our provincial, municipal, and First Nations police services, as well as the RCMP. This booklet talks about the many types of criminal activities anyone with a computer is susceptible to. Online frauds, lottery email scams, identity theft, phishing online scams, shopping frauds, and many others. Ontario's police services will be taking this message to our communities throughout the month of March, which also happens to be Fraud Prevention Month. The booklet will also be available and no doubt become a topic of discussion at the OACP Crime Prevention Conference taking place later this week. I know that my police service will be active in sharing this booklet throughout our communities, and that here in Ontario's capital city, the Toronto Police Service is getting ready to take that message out into the many diverse communities that they serve. But crime prevention is not solely a police responsibility. It's a shared responsibility, and Ontario police leaders are committed to working with our government, corporate, and community partners to protect citizens from internet-based crimes. I'm delighted that many of our sponsors have joined us here today to celebrate this launch, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge them and their contributions to public safety. And I will ask them to come forward in a moment to say a few words on behalf of their respective organizations. Accident Support Services International, Allstate Insurance Company of Canada, Canadian Security Association, Canpar Transport, Humber College Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning, Interact Association Access Corporation, the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation, Rogers Smart Home Monitoring, Roy Speed and Ross Limited, Title Plus, a division of Lawyers Professional Indemnity Company, or LawPro, and of course Via Rail Canada, who we joined today in mourning the loss of 3 of their employees in yesterday's horrific crash. Thank you all for being here and helping us spread the word that in today's technology-driven world, crime knows no borders, but we can all do our part to prevent these crimes and avoid becoming a victim. I'd now like to call upon Brian Vale, who's the VP of Marketing for Roy Speed and Ross Limited, to come forward and say a few words.
Yes, I'm Brian Vale from Roy Speed and Ross, the company that's behind GlobalEye.com. It's an auto theft deterrent and identity theft restoration service that unites over 400 Ontario auto dealers, their customers, and law enforcement in the fight against auto and identity theft through the GlobalEye Vehicle Registration Recovery Network. Experienced car thieves know they can profit from stealing your car and your identity. And as such, personal information that you leave in your vehicle has become a valuable target. That is why GlobalEye.com, in association with our auto dealers across Ontario, strongly support the efforts of the OACP in the crime prevention campaigns. Your vehicle and your personal information is valuable. Making it easy for criminals to take just doesn't make sense. Finally, I'd like to thank the opportunity that the OACP has given us to participate in such a worthwhile cause. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Brian. I'd now like to call forward Raymond Leclerc, Vice President of LawPro.
Bonjour. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. LawPro and its Title Plus program is pleased to sponsor the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police 2012 Crime Prevention Campaign again this year. It's our 3rd time that we have done so. As the malpractice insurer that stands behind almost 23,000 Ontario lawyers, we devote a great deal of time and resources to helping lawyers, and through them, the Canadian public, fight fraud. This includes educating lawyers on the different types of frauds, the warning signs of frauds, and how to avoid being duped. The theme of the campaign this year, cybercrime, resonates with us. The internet and email have given scammers many new ways to commit fraud. Some of the new types of frauds target lawyers and their clients. Just in the past year, several hundred lawyers Ontario lawyers have reported to us that they've been targeted by bad check frauds, as well as several hundred more lawyers across Canada, the US, and in fact, countries around the world. The initial client contact on these frauds is usually by email, and these frauds present themselves as legitimate legal issues. They may be debt or spousal support collection matters, inventory or equipment loans, real estate transactions, or commercial disputes. The simple goal is duping the lawyer into depositing a fake check or bank draft into their trust account and getting them to wire money to a foreign bank account. Only a fraction of these fraud attempts have been reported to us, meaning that thousands of these have been targeted by fraud. Some lawyers have been successfully duped, typically for amounts of $250 to $400,000 at a time. Other professionals like accountants, real estate agents are being targeted on these similar frauds. There are reports of landlords, merchants, and students also being targets. Our avoidaclaim.com blog has become the go-to resource for helping lawyers in Ontario and elsewhere avoid these frauds. On a weekly basis, we post updates of the new fraud scenarios using new names. On the Avoid a Claim blog, you can see hundreds of sample emails from scammers, as well as the fake ID documents and passports, the fake checks, and other fake supporting documentation that the scammers have provided to lawyers. These frauds are widespread enough that some lawyers are hesitant on whether they can rely on checks, including certified checks, for safely and reliably transferring funds. For these reasons, LawPro and Title Plus are pleased once again to support the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police in their crime prevention program and support the efforts on preventing cybercrime. Thank you.